Hello, my friends. How are you? Happy Monday. Katie Rubin here, your friendly neighborhood modern mystic energy healer, divine light channel, improvised comedian. Is that a word? Improv comedian. I can't say words lately. Sentences are tough. Words are difficult. To wit, let's share this with everyone. There's so much happening in the collective right now. There's so much happening in the collective. All these crazy super moons, and we've got Venus in retrograde, which has you reevaluating all relationships and taking a new look at how to do relationship, reevaluating everything to do with love, abundance, beauty, money, community, connection, family. No big deal, except totally big deal. There have been these like collective movements, like waves of conscious energy moving through the collective, just like asking us to, I can't even say asking us, they're like putting us up against everything we haven't dealt with, bringing it all up to be looked at, felt, processed. It can feel very intense while this is happening and very scary. But just remember, everything that comes up and is scary is coming up to move out. And if you face it and deal with it and process it directly, it can move out more quickly, and then you can integrate more fully inside of yourself, leaving you more whole and more peaceful and more effective and more of who you came here to be. So everything that comes up is coming up to move through. As long as we work with it consciously, we get the results of that. So you'd want to try to just not be in resistance to what's coming up, and go with that flow. Even if that flow means you have to slow down and you have to do a bunch of crying and you got to process your shit. Now, let's get to your 3-card spread. I have it here. It's a nice one. Some good stuff here. Okay. In the recent past, we have the rock bottom card reversed. Flippy, upside downy style. Let's find out what the hell that's about. In the present moment, we're in the magic stream, and the outcome card is the come together happy kissing giraffes card, with the 8 at the top, which is Katie Rubin's favorite number, magic number, spirit number, soul teaching number. Okay. Upside down, rock bottom. This is your recent past. Let's see what's up. Oh, and as a reminder, I always open the Akashic records of everybody who will see this video and benefit from it. So currently, that's where all this intel is coming from. Well, that and Colette Baron reads cards. Reversed. Reverse in the recent past. Reverse, this card is the symbol for addiction in all forms, subtle or obvious. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results will never provide you with what you desire. Whoops. At this moment, there is nowhere else to go and you're facing the end of the road. If you fear change, be willing to change. Surrender your wants to a higher power. Ask for truth and allow humility to be your guiding force from within. You will always get what you need. Let's hear that sentence again. You will always get what you need. You're only a victim of your perceptions. Take heart because you can't sink any further. The only way to go from here is up, and wondrous things await you. I'm going to read that whole freaking thing again because there's a lot in this card. Rock bottom, everybody, in your recent past. Reversed. This card is a symbol for addiction in all forms, subtle or obvious. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results will never provide you with what you desire. I'm laughing because this card is speaking to me. This is my whole life. My whole life teaching is in this card. That's it. Done. Which, by the way, if we're all wise, we would be willing to look at what are the subtle forms of addiction we each carry. You don't have to be a heroin addict to be an addict. What repetitive thought patterns are you addicted to? What low self-esteem beliefs about yourself are you addicted to? What subtle eating habits? How do you like numb your emotional reality with your food life? What do you do in the opposite direction with food life? Do you control your food and restrict your food to punish yourself? What subtle forms of self-hate are you addicted to? What forms of avoidance are you addicted to? How do you avoid your own power? How do you avoid your own vulnerability? Addiction. Doesn't have to look like I drink alcoholically every day. All right. Doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results, will never provide you with what you desire. At this moment, there is nowhere else to go, and you're facing the end of the road. If you fear change, be willing to change. Just be willing. It doesn't say if you fear change, change right now. That's not how the universe operates. The universe says if you fear change, do your inner work to process the fear on your heart so that you can become willing to change. I've found that with change, we often don't even know exactly what the change needs to be. So it can be very helpful to just become willing. Just be open to the possibility of change and see what might arise. Okay. Ask for truth and allow humility to be your guiding force from within. My whole life has changed since allowing humility to be one of the guiding forces from within. What am I getting as a result? Better relationships, friendships, connection with people, satisfaction, fulfillment in my life. Do you get like the big, pretty, perfect picture of everything? Sometimes you do. But humility brings the balance to that. Humility brings in like what nourishes the heart, what feeds the soul, which is, of course, our connections, our relationship to ourself, our relationship to the people in our lives. That shit is developed and fostered through humility. Ask for truth and allow humility to be your guiding force from within. You will always get what you need. You will always get what you need. You are only a victim because of your perceptions. Take heart because you... So sorry for all my coughing. It's heartburn. You're welcome. Because you can't sink any further. The only way to go from here is up, and wondrous things await you. So it says, let's see, where's the thing about your wants? Surrender. Where did it go? I lost it. Well, anyway, we talk a lot about in 12-step recovery, the idea of surrendering your wants in favor of your needs. But you have to know what the difference is between a want and a need, right? And the way I like to break it down for people is a want is a function of the ego and the mind. A need is a function of the soul. So learning to distinguish between what is something I egoically want because I think it's going to meet my needs. By the way, we don't just egoically and mentally want things because we're all fucked up and we're losers and we're terrible. Judgment, judgment, judgment. We want things that we think are going to meet our needs because we're just incorrect. We just don't know any better. We just need more wisdom and more experience and more learning. So I'll give you an example. If I want more love in my life, and if I need more love in my life, because love is a need. If I need more connection and love and closeness with people, and then I really, really want to book this acting job, and I think on some level, I think the acting job is going to bring me more connection and love and nurturance in my life. Well, sometimes acting jobs bring that. Sometimes they bring the opposite of that. So you want to look at if the thing you want is it going to actually meet the need you have. But first you have to understand what your needs are. I keep saying I'm going to post a needs list. Leslie, will you help me remember today? I would like to post a needs list with this video. We're going to post it today. That's my commitment to you. Because if you understand what your needs are, you get a lot less wanty about the wanting things. The things you want them less because you know how to meet your needs. Okay. Because by the way, knowing what your needs are and then knowing how to get them met, two different things. And you want to look at it in your life. How much time and energy do you spend actively hardcore pursuing your wants, unconsciously thinking they're going to meet your needs, getting your wants, and then realizing, wow, I still have all the same needs. Whoops. Okay. If you fear change, be willing to change. Surrender your wants. There it is. There's my sentence. To a higher power. Ask for truth and allow humility to be your guiding force from within. You will always get what you need. You are only a victim of your perceptions. I read that sentence wrong before. Take heart because you can't sink any further. The only way to go is up from here, and wondrous things await you. Which brings us to the present moment. Remember, that was our recent past. Present moment is the magic stream, the 1 and the 8 together, the 8 being leading with. The 8 is about learning to lead in collaboration, and the 1 in my world is about pulling the collective forward into love. So when we have the 1 and the 8 together, we're being encouraged to lead people with in collaboration and lead them into more love. Isn't that nice? Present moment, everything is connected through the universal flow of consciousness. Every experience you have seems to have its own life story with a beginning, a middle, and eventually an end. However, there is danger in seeing events as separate from one another, since in fact they are all part of a continuity and a greater evolution. Like an ever-flowing magic stream, your experiences filter through the whole world, one leading into another, informing and influencing still more. Inspiration, invention, and revelations rarely come to just one person. The collective awareness is a shared storehouse of potential. When you remember you're part of the fluid continuity of life, you become a channel for great inspiration. Allow the magic to flow through you and carry your dreams into reality. Your success will benefit many. So this card is all about whatever the opposite of separation is, unity. It's about understanding that like what's going on for me is going on for you. What's happening for you affects me. What's happening for me affects you. What's happening in the collective affects the collective. What happens for the individual affects the collective. What happens for the collective affects the individual. Life is an ever-flowing magic, like an ever-flowing magic stream. Your experiences filter through the whole world, one leading into another, informing and influencing still more. Inspiration, invention, revelation rarely come to just one person. The collective awareness is a shared storehouse of potential. When you remember you're part of the fluid continuity of life, you become a channel for great inspiration. Allow the magic to flow through you and carry your dreams into reality. Your success will benefit many. So in other words, in the present moment, we're being reminded it's all one energy. Everything that we think has a beginning, a middle, and an end, it doesn't. It's all connected. It's all, one piece is informing the rest of the pieces. It's funny, oh gosh, I could go on a whole tangent about that, but I'll put a pin in it. The outcome card here, let's get to that, is the Come Together card, which of course is my number 8 there. Love needs to be shared. Love needs to be expressed. Drawing the Come Together card is a sign that you're on the path to discover the nature of this emotion in all its forms of expression. Romantic, familial, unconditional, spiritual. In each instance, there is another being involved. Love involves a give and take between you and a significant other, a relative, a friend, an animal, or a spirit, or spirit. This card assures you that love has come calling and seeks a partner in its dance. Know that you are cherished. Like a magnet, you're attracting love into your life. This is the time for harmonious, caring partnerships. Desmond McNeese, what's up, brother? This is a time for harmonious, caring partnerships. Now remember, this is your outcome card. This is coming around the corner. So let me look at this. For the coming 2 weeks, this is reality. Now, remember too, guys, right at this moment, like I said at the beginning of today's video, we are in a Venus retrograde, a Leo Venus retrograde, a Venus retrograde in Leo. God, my brain is like being rebuilt right in front of you. So I'm just like all heart and feelings and body. And my brain is like, we used to know how to say words. And I'm like, it's okay, brain. You're going into the back seat now. The heart leads this life. We're in a Venus retrograde in Leo, which means we're going to be kind of fiery and self-centered right now about our relationships, our love relationships, our friendships, our families. In other words, it's a great time to reevaluate. Where have you been stepping on yourself in your relationships? Where have you been minimizing yourself? Where have you been not stepping forward and being the center of attention in your own relationship with you and in your own relationship as a result with the people in your life? Where have you been not having boundaries? Where have you been crossing your own boundaries? Where have you not spoken up for yourself? Where have you been taking shit that isn't yours to take? Where have you been speaking up too much? Where have you not been speaking up enough? This is a moment of really, a Venus in retrograde, particularly in Leo, asks us to look at the nature of our relational dynamics. It doesn't mean it's all ending and it's all black and white and break it off or get back together or anything like that. It's not that simple. It means look at the dynamics inside your relationship and ask the hard questions. The good news is your outcome card for the coming weeks is like, we're coming together, all the love, we're sharing all the love. Isn't that nice? So in the recent past, you've hit bottom with some kind of addictive pattern. Keeping in mind, addictions can be subtle or overt, right? You're hitting bottom with, who knows, avoidance, using work to distract from feelings, avoiding your difficult conversations in reality, in your relationships. Maybe it's overeating, undereating. Maybe it's a little bit too much alcohol. Maybe it's a lot too much alcohol. Maybe it's distraction. It could be anything, right? It could be thought patterns, feeling patterns, self-harm, self-hate, self-judgment, self-criticism. You've been hitting freaking bottom in the recent past, reversed. And that's good news, because when we hit bottom, the only place to go is up, as long as you're willing to make new choices. That brings us to the present moment, where we're being reminded everything that happens is all part of the fluid continuity of the bigger picture of reality. Your actions are not like living in an isolated silo. These two things go really well together, you guys, because addiction is all about solitude. Addiction is all about, I do it all by myself. I have to do it all by myself because I'm so fucked up. No one could possibly love me. So let me just hide away with my little secret addiction, whatever it might be. But the cards are like, no, honey, everything's connected to everything else. There is no hiding. And by the way, the people we always think we're hiding our shit from, they always know about our shit anyway. They may not have brought it from the unconscious to the conscious realm, but it's in there. They know on a certain level. And a lot of times they know consciously. They're just waiting for you because they love you. They're waiting patiently for you to wake up to it. And the outcome is, hooray, look at all this fucking love. Love has come calling. Receive it, have it, and give it. You deserve it, my friend. You don't have to isolate with your negative thinking and repetitive behavior patterns that make you feel shitty. You don't have to do that. Everything is connected to everything else, and the result is you get more love. Isn't that really, at the end of the day, what we're all looking for? A little more love? What if all the addictions, the addictive patterns you might have or have had or have been confronted by in the recent past are really misguided, well-intentioned pursuits of love, which actually create separation, but your unconscious thinks they're going to get you more love. They don't, and that's okay. Something happened. You got to remember, what did Oprah wisely say? It's not what's wrong with you, it's what happened to you. So many people do this thing. I'll wrap up with this, you guys. I'm a healer and I work with clients all the time. One of the biggest patterns I see with people in processing their pain and healing their trauma is nobody likes to own. People have a hard time owning up to what their parents did that created trauma. Because nobody wants to be in blame. People have a hard time distinguishing between naming reality, calling a spade, and blame. Blame is where you say, it's your fault and fuck you anyway, and I'm not going to take responsibility for the effects of the choices you made, what they had on me. I'm not going to take responsibility for the effects of your bad behavior because it's your fault. Calling a spade is where you go, oh, when my mom did blank, it caused this for me. Now I'm going to take responsibility and deal with this inside myself. That's calling a spade for the sake of waking up to what is your inner work to do. We can't change the past, but we can heal the hurt caused by the past. We can't change the past, but we can look at it for the sake of integrating and becoming more whole and at peace by processing the pain of the past. That's calling a spade. What happened to you? And how did you internalize it? And would you be willing to process that? As opposed to, they did this to me, I'm a victim, I'll never look at it, end of conversation. So the point being, when hard stuff happens in the past, we all develop addictive patterns because the addictive patterns are an attempt to avoid the pain of everywhere we don't have love for self in the heart. So when you hit rock bottom with an addiction, what you start to realize is everything everybody's looking for is love. Connect with self first, learn how to connect with the divine next, and then all your relationships, which is where you're connecting with the others, start to improve. That's how I have learned to operate. Works pretty well over here. Many blessings to you, my friends. When you're ready for your energy healing work to integrate some of your own stuff, if you need an Akashic Records reading, if you want to learn about your human design so you can understand how do I best make decisions for me? How does this system operate more effectively? That's when you go to katierubin.com, book your session or your packages. I love you guys so much. Take good care of yourselves. I'll be on the road soon, and you'll be hearing 3 card spreads from the road because Mama's in transition and love.